What's up, brother? You okay? Can you talk? Great. Before we start, can I ask you to do this? Let's do this, please. It costs you nothing. We feel appreciated. Done? Thank you. Tanzania, this country right here. Beautiful place, lovely people, amazing human beings. Is going through a very difficult time, like never before. People are in the streets. Many people are being arrested for the protest they're doing. And guess what's happening right now? Kenyans, look at Kenya on the map. Kenyan youth have gathered at Namanga border in solidarity with Tanzanian protesters. Yes, Kenyans are trying to cross into Tanzania by force to go and support protesters in Tanzania. We have never seen anything like this before. But obviously, the authorities have blocked the entry into Tanzania. This is crazy. What's happening, everybody? I hope you're doing good. It's a beautiful day. Thank you very much for stopping by. You are appreciated. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. This is your first time. My name is Zack. This is home. You want to know about the motherland? You're at the right place. Today, we're talking about Tanzania, this country here. It's an amazing place to be. It is an amazing. One of the most stable democracies in Africa. One of the most beautiful people in Africa. One of the most amazing food in Africa. You have to go visit. Now, Tanzania is going through a very difficult time. Okay, they're experiencing widespread protest and unrest following a controversial presidential election. Of course, it's usually about elections in Africa. Now, what's happening exactly in Tanzania? This lady right here, President Samia Suluhu Hassan, is expected to secure a second term as a president as the election has been marred with controversies. People are accusing her of basically eradicating the opposition and leaving herself as the sole candidate for the Tanzanian people. So this party right here, the ruling party of Tanzania, named Chama cha Mapinduzi, has faced criticism for suppressing opposition voices and limiting voters' choice. I mean, you would imagine you want to be able to vote many people, have options, but finding yourself at the end of the election, you only have one prominent candidate and very unknown people on the other side. The choice is very clear. Now people are very angry about that. Now this lady right here is very respectable. It's a human being that brought hope for the Tanzanian people. Before she was in power, there was this man right here, John Pombe Magufuli. He was Tanzanian 5th president from 2015 to 2021. He was one of the most prominent, strong figure in African politics. He basically refused to travel all the way anywhere else but Africa. He only traveled across a couple of countries in Africa, never went to Europe, never went to America begging for anything. He did not go to World Bank or IMF asking for money for construction or anything in his country. He only gathered money from the people in the country. So his policies were clear. He was anti-corruption. He made sure the country produced the milk that the country needed to feed the country's children. Magufuli was known for his aggressive anti-corruption stance, infrastructure expansion, and cost-cutting reform. We're going to try to find out a little bit very quickly what was Magufuli all about. Magufuli built massive roads and bridges. He prioritized transportation infrastructure, including expansion of highway and rural roads. Magufuli number 2 launched a very ambitious SGR project to connect Dar es Salaam to other regions and neighboring countries. So basically, Tanzania now had a train that functioned all over the place. No needs to struggle. Number 3, Magufuli revamped airports and ports. Major upgrades were made on Julius Nyerere Airport, beautiful as nothing, and Dar es Salaam ports to boost trade and tourism. Obviously, you need good infrastructure to attract the good and the best people. Magufuli was known for his discipline and anti-corruption. He started a major crackdown on ghost workers. So basically, government people hired people that don't exist, but those people were on payroll. Yes, crazy stuff. You have thousands of people on payroll that don't exist. Now guess where the money is going? To a bunch of people that are basically making that money their source of wealth. With that, he saved billions of dollars in taxpayers' money. Magufuli reduced government spending, as opposed to many African leaders that want to spend money on government events. He banned lavish public events, like no parties. And sometimes where people needed to have a reunion government meeting, He said we don't have to spend money on food and drinks. Oh, by the way, Mr. Politician, eat at home before you come to the reunion. Yes, make sure your stomach is big with pap, with posho, with ugali before you come. This is not where you come and get full. Make sure you have a wife who knows how to cook. He also banned foreign travel for officials. He said it's not necessary for an official to travel to another country for political reasons. Oh, that's why we have an ambassador to such country. Why do you want to go to Japan? We have an ambassador in Japan. He can do everything you want to do. He saved money by doing so. And obviously, when you do things like this, people don't like you very much. Magufuli revived Air Tanzania. Yes, he invested in new aircraft and restored the national airline operation and competitiveness. So this is a president, unlike most African presidents, who did not come to power to empower himself. You know, he came to make changes and he didn't want to go beg from World Bank or IMF and try to squeeze the people saying you need to pay extra money on period pad. No. He just said we can get money from the spending we're doing that are not necessary. No need for parties for government officials. No need for traveling for free in Europe. It's not necessary. We already have ambassadors that can do that. No need for spending money unnecessarily. Let's build hospitals. Let's build roads. Let's make sure our children have good schools. That was this president all about. Magufuli did many, many good things, but he was also criticized for some of his stance. They felt like he did not lack opposition. He didn't lack dissident voices. Unfortunately, many of them during his time were also thrown in jail. Now, Magufuli was also very strong. I think many people discovered him during COVID periods when most of the countries were lockdowning and people were wearing masks. Magufuli refused to impose lockdowns or compulsory masks in Tanzania. Matter of fact, at that very same time, I traveled to Tanzania because I was one of the people that didn't want to get restricted. I hated that. I just felt like, no, don't tell us what to do. I can make my own choice. I'm a grown man. Magufuli said we don't have to do like everybody else. And he was criticized for that.
Tukachukua sample za mbuzi, tukachukua sample za kondoo, tukachukua sample za papai, tukachukua sample za oili ya gari, na sample za vitu vingine mbalimbali tukavipeleka pale kwenye maabara. Tulipopeleka sample ya papai tukaipa jina Elizabeth Anne, miaka 26, female. Papai lile lilikuwa positive kwamba lina corona. Maana yake maji mle ndani zilizotolewa mle kwenye papai ni positive.
He also believed that some of the masks were contaminated. That was his belief. Magufuli conducted a test against COVID where they took many samples from different origin. They took mucus from a cow, mucus from a banana, mucus from different things. They all tested positive to COVID. And he was like, how do you explain that? What kind of disease is this? Human tests positive, monkey tests positive, banana tests positive, fish tests positive. It makes no sense. Magufuli built a great reputation among Tanzanian people and many African people. He had a lot of respect surrounding him. But unfortunately, in March 2021, nobody heard from him for a while. It was very quiet until they announced that he had passed away. So the government said that Magufuli had passed due to heart problems. Some people believe it was not that, it was something else. Now, I'll let you think what you think that was. Obviously, it was a strain in many people's situation because his policies were very hard and he was not very flexible. And for them, the only solution may have been, like I said, may have been what you're probably thinking right now. Now, a few days after his death, Samia Suluhu, this lady right here, took over the country. She was introduced as new president of Tanzania. For the very first time in East Africa, we had a female, a lady, a mother as a president. That's inspired a lot of hope in many people, a lot of courage. She promised to do reform, to change things, to push Tanzania forward, to create jobs and opportunity for many people in the country. She also aimed at reversing the authoritarian legacy of her predecessor, John Magufuli. Here are some of the good things she did when she initially started as a president. Number one, she unbanned political rallies that had been prohibited under Magufuli's rules, allowing opposition parties to organize and speak publicly again. Yes, they couldn't do that anymore, but she said you can do it now. Number two, she loosened media restriction, enabling previously banned newspapers and broadcasts to resume operations. Number three, she released political prisoners and engaged in dialogue with opposition leaders, signaling a more inclusive approach to governance. Obviously, This is a lady. People expect her to be soft. She also repaired the very strained relationship between Tanzania and international organizations like the World Health Organization. Just remember, Magufuli said, we do not believe what you say, and we won't do things the way you want us to do. And after he did that, he was no more. Okay, let's just say it was by mistake. Oh, remember, there's another president from this country right here, Burundi, Nkurunziza. He also refused to apply curfews and impose masks on his people. Few weeks later, he also disappeared, unalived. Now, I don't know if there's anything to do with that, but let's just say it was just by mistake. Okay, it was just by mistake. Now, you need to remember one thing here. Okay, this lady is a president. However, she comes from a political party, the same political party as Magufuli. Now, this is the CCM. This is this political party. This political party has been in power since gaining independence, 1961. And this is very important. Tanzania has been ruled continuously by the single dominant political party, currently known as the Chama cha Mapinduzi. Okay, Samia is part of it. Magufuli was part of it. And all the predecessors before them were part of it. So that's basically like a system that's already installed since independence that has never really been challenged. So as you would imagine, it's a continuous system, because this is not exclusive to Tanzania. Like in most African countries, when you have a political party that's been in power for so many years, they expect to remain in power. So it's not necessarily about the people, and I put emphasis on necessarily. It's more about us. We liberated this country. We need to continue. Now, the problem is you can be the same party like in China, but make sure that people are happy. Okay, that's the objective, you must remember. Now, even though the president may have come as a lady, with a softer voice, a softer approach, maybe she's faced with a situation with people that's been there before her that tell her what to do. I mean, remember, she's the president, but she is also part of a political party. That's a base. That's a family. That's where all the mentality comes from. So maybe she may have wanted things to be different, run smoothly, be softer. But the people behind, people that are engaged into the power, people that are embedded into the system. So she has to respond to some people. Now, many people are believing that whatever's happening in Tanzania has nothing to do with the president, but it has everything to do with the individual that's been set there for many years. You must remember, when you have a political party that's strong, you also have people that are sponsors. Those sponsors generally are businessmen that's been established for many, many years. And these people have survived all changes of government since independence. Those are the people that actually calling the shot. They don't necessarily want things to change, whether you change the presidents or not. So they're going to make sure they put pressure on you, saying you are the president, but we play by the rules here. So as much as you bring in your ideas, make sure you don't change this, you don't change that, you don't change that. So that's one of the reasons why many people feel like, even though Samia, the president, came up with very good idea, at the end of the day, she had to make a choice between, am I going to be that person I want to be and force myself facing being removed, or am I going to curve into the pressure and continue being a president? And must remember, this is speculation. We're imagining, we're thinking, it's a probability. So violence erupted, unfortunately, fellas, in Dar es Salaam, largest city, beautiful place, lovely people, great food. I encourage you to go and visit that country. If you've never, whether you're American, Caribbean, or African, you need to go see Tanzania. It's a beautiful place. Many people tend to say that Kenyans are the most disrespectful, Swahili speaking, the most rude, the most straightforward, the most contentious. And Tanzania is supposed to be the softer, calmer. That's what people say. But it's very strange to see that Tanzanians, known as the calm people, stand in the streets to fight for what they think is not correct. So demonstrators clashed with security forces, and several neighborhoods reported fires and rock throwing. The police responded, obviously, with tear gas and gunfire, especially in areas like Mbangala, Gongo, Lamboto, Ekilubi. So again, what's very interesting to say here is that Kenyans, youth from Kenya, gathered at Namanga border in solidarity with Tanzanian protesters, and they went very strong. You remember, Kenyans don't play, like I said earlier. Kenyan Gen Z are the people that created havoc in Kenya a couple of months ago. They don't play. What they want, they're probably going to get it. Now, Tanzania is supposed to be the softer one, amongst Swahili speaking. While the Kenyans said, you know what? You are now standing up. Well, we are coming to the border to give you support. Do you think this is something that Africans should experience more and more? Solidarity among people. I mean, if one country which was created by white men, must remember, countries were created by white men. People existed before. But countries, as you see, were traced and designed by white people. But they are the same people. Like these people right here, they are Maasais. You'll find Maasais in Tanzania and Maasais in Kenya. Now you tell me, Maasais are Kenyans or Tanzanians? You can't answer that. Now, these Maasais can move as they want because they've always been moving since centuries. Now, do you think this is a good thing that an African country can support the neighboring African country when they feel like they've been put into predicament? Let me know how you feel about this. It was a great pleasure. Tanzania is still one of the most lovely countries to visit. Beautiful place. It's been very peaceful, and I hope they can find peace again and that understanding amongst each other. God bless.